Hey, everybody. Welcome
Hello.
to Coach's Corner. We are happy that you are here tonight. This is the
Yes.
place where we have real conversations about health, discipline, mindset, faith, family, and the daily decisions that either move us toward healing or keep us stuck. My name is Robyn Herron, and I am your carnivorous grandma. And I'm super excited to be here with you tonight. So if you guys are watching live or on the replay, just drop down in the comments where you are watching from, and we're so thankful that you're with us tonight. So um, I'm here with my other co-coach. His name is Coach Sherrod Brown. Hey,
Brother
Coach.
from another mother. No.
That's right. That's right. So together we are having the conversations that people need before the diagnosis gets worse, before the medication list gets longer, and before accepting sickness as normal. Tonight, we're going to be talking about type 2 diabetes. And I just want to start right there because diabetes is not just a blood sugar problem, but blood sugar is what people hear most about. So, blood sugar is what's going to be showing up on your lab report. It's what gets measured with that finger stick, with your CGM, or with an A1C. But for many people, especially those with type 2 diabetes and prediabetes, there's a deeper issue here, and it's called metabolic dysfunction. So our bodies have literally been struggling for years before the numbers finally get loud enough to get attention. So by the time anyone hears your A1C is high or you're pre-diabetic, the deeper issue has already been going on for many, many years. No, the process did not start last week. It's been building quietly through your body for all these years. Years of high insulin, frequent eating, processed food, sugars, starches, stress, poor sleep, inflammation, and a body that has been trying to compensate. It's literally been fighting for its life. So that's why this conversation tonight matters because we miss the bigger picture if we only talk about blood sugar. We might miss insulin resistance. And if we only look at medication, we might miss the food portion of it. If we only talk about weight, we might miss the chronic inflammation, the fatigue, lack of sleep, stress, and the loss of metabolic flexibility. So, just a quick note for you guys, we are not physicians. We are not doctors and we're not giving medical advice. So, if you are a person who is a diabetic, if you're pre diabetic, or if you're taking medication, especially insulin or glucose lowering medications, you need to work with a medical professional. But as health coaches, we can help you understand the lifestyle side of the conversation and the daily decisions that matter.
Because the daily decisions matter. I'm Sherrod. And before we get too deep into this, I want to ask everybody a question. How many warning signs does the body give before most people finally pay attention? For a lot of us, right, the answer is more than what we want to admit, like getting tired after meals, the weight gain around the middle part of the stomach, the craving for sugar and sweets. We need snacks to get through the day, right? All those things. And then this is the big one, waking up tired.
Mm.
Somewhere along the way, we have convinced ourselves that we're just getting older, right? You've heard that before, right? But what if those things aren't simply signs of aging? What if they're signals, right? Okay, signals that something deeper has been happening for years. Tonight, it's not about fear, okay? It's trying to get an understanding of what's going on, specifically in our bodies. Because when you understand what's happening in your body, you can start to make better decisions. And when you make better decisions consistently, Amazing things happen, and both me and Robin can tell you because we are examples. We ain't trying to sell you fluff. We're not magicians. We're here because we put in the time. And Robin's been carnivore for well over
Three
about
years.
3 years now,
Yeah,
and
3.
I'm just now getting my year of carnivore. But I've been struggling with pre-diabetes and all these different things. Diabetic, my wife was diabetic, and all these different things in my family, and people that I know are diabetic. And look, I had to learn about this stuff because I've had some relatives that died from it, and the way they died was
Mm,
tragic for
mhm,
me. And so
mhm.
so I've been studying diseases, inflammation in the body, all these things for well over 25 years. Okay. Um, so I could just tell you, hey, the things that I've learned and share with you, and hey, hopefully it's enough to convince you, right? But hey, I'm not you just take the information and you make your own choices.
Yeah, that's right. So tonight, we're talking about diabetes, right? When most people think about diabetes, I love what you just said about being pre-diabetic because when we think about diabetes, we think about sugar in the blood. And yes, elevated blood glucose is part of that diagnosis. But type 2 diabetes is much bigger than glucose. I wanted to just mention this because I was in the pre-diabetic range. My numbers said pre-diabetes, but no one ever informed me that I was in the pre-diabetic range. How crazy is that? Like, crazy
I
that
think it
my
happens a
doctor
lot.
never even mentioned it, right? So what is happening inside the body is, and I want to just really, really call this one hormone out. And that hormone is insulin, right? So insulin, it's made by the pancreas, and one of its major jobs is to move glucose, sugar, out of the bloodstream and into the cells where it can be used or stored, right? So every time we eat carbohydrates, especially you think about what a carbohydrate is, it's a sugar, flour, grains, starches, our sweet drinks, ultra processed foods, our glucose rises, our blood sugar rises. And what does insulin do? It rises to manage it. I call it like some Pac-Mans. I think about it like this because you send out this blood sugar into your system, and then your Pac-Mans, those little insulins, they need to go out there and chase that blood sugar down, right? And then what do they do with it? Stuff it into your fat cells. That's what it does, right? That's what it does. All right. So the problem begins when the body is constantly asked to manage high glucose. And you think about this every time you eat, your glucose is rising and then your insulin's coming out. So it's your body is constantly asked to manage high glucose and high insulin. Over time, the cells become less responsive to insulin. It's called insulin resistance. And when that happens, the pancreas has to make more and more insulin to get the same job done. So, for a while, your blood sugar might look normal. With your labs, they might tell you your blood glucose is normal because the insulin is really working to compensate behind the scenes and driving that blood glucose down. But that does not mean that everything is fine. It means that your body is compensating. As I said, I was in the pre-diabetic range, meaning my A1C was a little bit high, but my glucose looked normal. My fasting glucose looked normal, right? So my insulin was working overtime. So some of that's why that is why someone can have normal glucose for years while your insulin is already elevated. Then eventually that system starts to struggle. Our fasting glucose will start to rise. Our A1C will rise. Energy drops, cravings increase, belly fat will start to accumulate, fat literally all over. Your blood pressure might start going up and your body is signaling that something is going on. And when they get to that pre-diabetic range, that is one of those major signals, right? So pre-diabetes is not almost sick or I'm almost there. I'm almost a diabetic. It's evidence that your body is already having trouble managing glucose. It's not a warning light on the dashboard. And then when the warning light comes on, we're not going to put tape over it and just keep on driving.
Right.
That is not what we want to do, right?
Right. Right.
So, our answer should be to start asking questions. What is creating this metabolic pressure? So, for most of us, it includes a high, ungodly high amount of sugar, a complete overconsumption problem when it comes to sugar and refined carbohydrates, ultra processed food. We're snacking all the time. In fact, they told us to eat, what, 6 times a day or something like that?
Yeah.
And it's just kind of crazy. So, our lifestyle keeps our insulin elevated. And so, this is why we talk about food over here on Coach's Corner, because we know that food is not just calories, it's information. It's telling the body what hormones to release, what fuel to burn, what to store, and how hard our pancreas has to work. So, when we talk about eliminating sugar, we're not being extreme, we're being logical. We're making it make sense, right? So when we say reduce starches and refined carbohydrates, we're not trying to take away your joy. We do not want to steal your joy. But what we're trying to do is to help you reduce that glucose and insulin burden on the body. And when we tell you to prioritize animal protein and healthy fat, we're talking about satiety, something that many of us have gotten so far away from. We literally are hungry all the time, and we just expect to be a little bit hungry all the time. And but when you have true satiety through eating animal-based foods, having high nutrient density, and your blood sugar is stable, you're giving your body what it needs without constantly spiking insulin. And so this is science, and it's what we need to understand that type 2 diabetes is often the end result of years long, many years, this process of insulin resistance. And so, if you really want a different outcome, you have to address the disease process.
So I would say, why are people ignoring the warning signs? That's the question I would ask. But um, a lot of this is most people really never really hear it, right? Most people think diabetes starts when blood sugar goes up, right? But what you're saying is in the process, this really has probably started earlier, and I've heard could be up to 10 years earlier when you actually have been in this state of,
Mhm.
insulin, this buildup of insulin till you're diagnosed. It could be literally up to 10 years, literally that long. You've been dealing with it already. I mean, and
Yep.
that's wow. So, if this process started early, what was the body trying to tell us all along, right? And I think about this because of myself, right? When I look back over my own life, I could see a lot of times I was tired, being hungry all the time. I mean, it's literally, I was chasing food all day long.
Mhm.
What am I eating for breakfast? Then I eat breakfast. Then I be thinking about lunch, like literally, because an hour or two later, I'm hungry again. And like you said, I was following what they said. Eat 3 meals, two snacks up in there, three snacks sometimes. I was trying to eat like that. But that just it wasn't working for me. And we don't have to get into all that. But that wasn't helping me. So I would eat, then I felt like I needed a nap, you know.
Right.
um, and so I never connected that to this is part of my metabolic health. I never connected those two. And so um I just thought that was normal. I thought that was part of getting older, part of, you're just tired. That's all. You just tired, man. You getting old. But anyway, it's about you don't want to be ignoring your health, because when it comes to your health, that's the one thing you do have that a lot of times we weren't really taught these things. I think about how we're like, we don't teach good health and good, really, nutrition, not in the sense of, well, eat these portion, eat this, eat that. No, really explain to us the physiology of our bodies, right? Like, wouldn't you think that's important enough to know? As if you're going to school, I need to know, I'm eating, but what is actually happening as I'm eating this food? And depending on what type of food I'm eating, what is it doing? What am I signaling to my body? Right?
Mhm.
We know if I'm eating sugar, and I used to always say this, that's why I always would never try to eat anything sweet. And I know there'd be times you thinking it's like, okay, well, that's Snickers. That used to be, oh my gosh, I would just throw a Snickers in because they say this the hungry man's food, right? You listen to
Mhm.
these commercials and these things, and they just program us to eat the wrong way. And so
Yes.
before you know it, I'm buying like a box of Snickers, right? So I always have them. So I always have them got some by my bed, got some by my chair over there, got some in the car. They didn't half melted, but guess what? If I'm hungry enough, I still eat it.
Right.
So let me ask another question. How many people are walking around today with normal glucose but elevated insulin, and they don't even know it? And that's the thing about it. And you mentioned like your doctor not even sharing that information with you. That
Yes.
happens a lot.
Yes.
And maybe because they're waiting for it to be such a high number until they tell you. But a lot of times, of course, depending on where you're going, sometimes you coming in, your stuff could be just over the line. They're trying to give you some medication. So it's too wide of ranges with this. So, you know. Um, how many people are trying to compensate right now while their body is working harder and harder behind the scenes? Um, so the body is often whispering before it screams. That's the one thing. Our body is whispering to us, telling us the things, but we can't hear it. We got all this food noise. We got all these chemicals, all this stress in our everyday lives. So we're not listening to our bodies. Thank goodness for me now, I'm able to hear and really listen to my body.
Mhm.
And thank you. Carnivore has been a great thing. It's so great. It's so many benefits to it. Oh my goodness, that's the main one right there. Just being able to listen to your body. My body says, "Hey, you know what? I need more beef." Guess what? I'm eating more beef, baby. I had to slide that chicken and all that fish to the side, eat more beef. My body tells me that, and I can hear it. And those are the things and benefits of being able to do that. So, and as I'm talking to a lot of men tonight, let's be honest, guys. A lot of men don't want to admit that they're struggling. I know I did it for years. I sat and struggled, and just dealt with gaining weight, being tired, living with a disease, living with all these symptoms of all these different things going on, and yet not really being able to, you know, ask for help or, just admit that I'm struggling, right? So we just keep pushing through, we keep working, we keep carrying our own responsibilities, But let me tell you this: silence doesn't protect your health. It doesn't protect you. It doesn't protect when you avoiding the doctor. That doesn't protect you. That doesn't help you at all. So not going to the doctor, not doing all these things you should be doing, not cutting back. You're just giving in to whatever you're giving in, and ignoring the labs doesn't help either.
Right.
So understanding what's happening and taking action is what helps.
Yeah, I completely agree. It really literally is taking back control of our own health trajectory, right?
Yeah.
And I think the key is, and you said it, is that We don't know the control that we have through nutrition, right? As you was talking about, understanding the physiology, the biology, the how the body actually works. If we really could connect the dots, we would know that what we're eating is a huge problem, right? Because if we could understand that biology piece of it and how sugar and insulin works and how we're constantly feeding this sugar in, right? That would really help us. I think it's been right before our eyes the entire time, but we have not been able to see it or understand it. That's why we're here at Coach's Corner because we want to talk about these things, expose what it actually is actually going on. We have a question here. I'm going to go ahead and bring this question up.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, bro. What about not really having an appetite? So, I don't know, Elder Brown, if you have any comments on that. I think that when you're eating proper nutrition, it's going to help with that. Um, and yeah, I mean, if you're on medications and stuff like that, there's other factors, right? So we got to think about those kinds of things. But when you're eating high quality, you're eating the fatty meats, it's going to help your body to heal, which should help to heal those signals as well. Could take some time though. But yeah, I think
Yes.
there's a lot of factors there that could be there. So I don't know if you have additional comments on that.
Yeah, yeah. I'll say this, just my experience with eating, because I've been eating all my life.
Right.
Uh, when I eat an American standard diet, I am constantly hungry. Just period. When I eat a protein and fat diet, okay, and I know some people that scare people. You just can't see it, but it's okay. It's okay because eventually the world's gonna know. It's coming out. People are, believe it or not, the whole world is starting to come around to it because it's the one thing that is helping to heal people from these symptoms of diseases, especially inflammation in the body. And if we
Right.
think about what is inflammation in the body, well, when you eat sugar, guess what's happening? It's going to cause inflammation in your
Inflammation.
body.
That's right.
I like the idea of how when we eat regular food, when we eat real food is food that the ingredient says it's what it is. So if I'm eating beef, the ingredient is going to be beef. If I'm eating even the apple, the ingredient is the apple.
Apple.
That's
That's
whole
right.
foods, right? Not the other stuff. The other stuff is they don't stuff doesn't happen. I always like to say this, especially like with orange juice. We think drinking orange juice is healthy because it says vitamin C on it. I've worked at Minute Maid. Do you know what happens when they pasteurize juice? They kill all the good stuff in it. All the vitamin C, all the nutrients that was in an orange is killed because of the temperature. So what do? We add it back into it. We add, I would say, synthetic vitamin C, synthetic
Mhm.
nutrients and vitamins into it so that same thing with milk, same thing with all juice. So let's just think about it. Now just think about what I just said and how that if you're drinking sugar, re-drinks, eating foods, that sugar, that stuff, as Robin already mentioned, the physiology of what happens when we're eating that
Mhm.
stuff, what it does, it doesn't fulfill you. So now when I eat protein and I eat fat, well, guess what? I'm gonna feel satiated. And that's exactly what happens. That's why I could eat one meal a day right now. And so
Yeah.
I ate 2 hours ago. I ate some eggs, I ate some bacon, and I had some ground beef.
Mhm. And I see
I feel
Andre
fine.
asking about, mentioning that he's just recently had surgery and has been only able to eat veggies, chicken, and fruit. So,
Yeah.
if I was to recommend, I would recommend ground beef over chicken.
Yes.
I
Yes.
would completely eliminate the fruit, which is a sugar, and it's going to delay, it won't
Yes.
allow your healing to progress at the speed and the rate that you would want it to. And then for veggies, if you are consuming veggies, I would do low starch veggies. So no potatoes and corn and all of those kinds of
Yes.
things, and just do a lower starch type of vegetables if
Yes.
that's required. But yes, you
Yes.
need to eat more
Asparagus,
meat.
those kind of things.
You
Yeah.
need to eat more
Yes.
meat. You need to eat more fatty meat. Will allow your body to heal as you
Yes.
leave off all of those other things, those non one
Yes.
ingredient
Yes.
foods.
Yes.
All right. So let's talk about um, intervention, right? Hey, John. Thank you for popping in. No corn. No corn.
No corn. Too high
So
sugar.
talk about where do we have an opportunity to really make a change before the diabetes hits, right? So we should be looking at our labs ourselves, right? Or you can work with a coach like Sherrod and I, and we can help you to. We don't do lab evaluation, but we can help you see things that you can talk to your physician
To
about.
your doctor.
Okay.
Yes.
And so when we start to see our A1C is creeping up and or our fasting glucose is creeping up, but we're not at the diabetic range, we're in pre-diabetes, it's a great place to intervene before diabetes hits, right? Because all that's happening inside of your body, you know, Sherrod always talks about what the sugar does inside the eyes and the soft vessels inside of your body, the damage that it's doing before they tell you you have diabetes, right? So we don't want to wait until our diagnosis gets worse before getting serious about it and making a change. If your A1C is creeping up, you need to pay attention, right? If that fasting glucose is rising, you need to be paying attention. Look at your waist circumference. If your waist circumference is increasing, if you can look down and still see your belly, you definitely have a little bit bigger waist circumference than you should have. Okay. I'm not calling you fat. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, it is what it is, right?
Hmm.
Being tired after meals, having these sugar cravings, and feeling like you need a snack to function. We need to be paying attention to that. Our bodies are literally giving us metabolic clues about what's going on. So, again, an A1C gives an estimate of average blood sugar over about 3 months. It can be a useful metric, right? But it's definitely not the whole story. Fasting glucose is also useful, but as we said, it can be masked by our insulin driving those glucose numbers down. So it's not the whole story either. And then the one metabolic marker that I recommend that everybody get with their lab panel is your fasting insulin. What does your fasting insulin say? That means like when I'm fasting, is my insulin high? Is my body sending out extra Pac-Mans to take care of the glucose and keep it down in the normal level? Or even if it's high, right? So people don't get fasting insulin checked, but fasting insulin can show how hard the body is working before that glucose number obviously becomes abnormal. And that does matter because high insulin often shows up before high glucose. And so we want to just make sure that you understand this. When you eat a high carbohydrate diet, we just talked about corn. Corn is a high carb food. We're talking about cereal, toast. Sherrod mentioned juice. Juice. Can you imagine how many oranges it takes to make your cup of orange juice? Come on. It's too much. It's too much. We're putting sugar in our coffee. How many people are putting 5, 6, 7, 10, 11 teaspoons of sugar in your coffee?
Oh, man.
Oh my gosh. Chips and sandwiches and pasta, snacks, those 100-calorie packs and desserts. Our bodies are constantly managing glucose when we're eating a high carbohydrate diet. And insulin keeps coming out. Those Pac-Mans keep working. And over time, it creates a pattern where the body is rarely in a low insulin state. And when insulin is elevated, fat burning turns off. It just turns off. Your body cannot be in ketosis and have high insulin at the same time, right? So ketosis is fat burning, right? We want our bodies to burn that fat off. So all this fat glucose that the Pac-Mans have been stuffing into the cells, we want to burn that off, but we can't burn it off because have chronic high insulin. It's called insulinemia, right? So our bodies become dependent on this frequent fuel coming in. That's why you're tired in the afternoon and you need that Snickers bar, right? Because your body is dealing with those blood sugar rises and falls. And so people, we start to think about this as a personality defect. I was thinking about this while you were talking. Like I don't have any willpower. Um, and I'm just sitting here getting sicker and sicker, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's just a struggle. I'm just struggling. I'm unhealthy, and it's just I think about how people with diabetes they tell you that you will have this for the rest of your life. You might lose your vision. You're gonna maybe lose your limbs. You know, they're gonna start cutting things off, but it's within your control to stop that before it gets started, right? And that's the piece that is missing, the missing element. It's not a willpower problem. It is a glucose and insulin problem, right? It's not a willpower problem. Exactly, Lady Brown. So we coach people to simplify. We want you to simplify your life. And what do we say? Take the sugar out. That's why when he said he's eating fruit, I'm saying remove the fruit. Take the fruit out. Then remove those refined carbohydrates, those rice, pasta, cakes, cookies, pies, candy bars, Cracker Jacks, all those different things, right? We're going to remove those refined carbohydrates and ultra processed foods. Build your meals around animal protein and fat because fat is satiating, right? Fat is not going to make you fat, it is satiating. Stop grazing all day, which when you start to eliminate and reduce sugar, you will find that you do not need to graze all day. You will find that you are satiated. Make sure that you're keeping hydrated, utilizing electrolytes appropriately. Take a little walk after you eat. Yeah, and sleep like it matters because it does. It's really not complicated. It's super, super simple. This way of this healing way of life. It's very, very simple, but it does require some consistency. And that's where people might need some support.
I think this is where the conversation starts to become personal right here, right? It's because, okay, so now you have the information. So now what are you going to do with it, right? Right? When I say stuff like this, I think about that commercial. Man, I used to see back in the day when I was sitting on the couch, and then they would come on and be like, "Why you just sitting there? You should go to school." You know, that's what I
That's an
think
old
about every
commercial.
time. I feel like I'm doing that. Like, get up, do something. No, but that's it's reality is you can decide how you want to live the rest of your life with the information you have. And before I didn't have this. I didn't have this information. I didn't know that. I'll tell you that. I mean, and even when 2 years ago, Robin was trying to get me to go, I still was stuck, and I couldn't understand how just eating meat and fat was going to be how that was going to help me.
Yep.
And so it took me some time to investigate it myself. But I did. It took some time. I investigated it myself. And I mean, I'm sorry. It's just it's a fact that that way of eating, what we call a proper human diet, is the way we've been eating all our whole existence on this earth. So it's nothing new, even
Right.
though it's branded carnivore, but it's not nothing new. It's been here all this time. Unfortunately, there aren't a whole lot of studies, so you can compare, going vegetarian, but that'd be the first thing they tell you. They're okay with you going vegetarian. They're okay with you eating Mediterranean diet. They're okay with you eating all these other things. But as soon as you mention, you know, I'm on a meat-based diet and this and that, then everybody gets scared. So
Mhm.
I don't want to scare nobody. I'm trying to keep it. So
Ooh.
what are you doing with the information? This is where the discipline comes in. We're not talking about punishment. You don't need to be punished for it. It's not. We ain't talking about suffering. We're talking about training. One of the things I hear all the time is it runs in my family, and I just believe that because that's what I thought. And sometimes that is true to some degree. But guess what? Do habits run in your family too? Do sweet drinks run in your family? Do candy bars run in your family too? Do late night snacks run in the family? Like
Yep.
all these food traditions that we have, they all,
Mm.
yeah, run in the family, of course. So because we inherit more than DNA, we inherit behaviors as well, right? So our behavior and how we see food and how the things we were brought up and told. I feel like I remember them teaching the pyramid. I think when I was like in elementary, like, and it probably hadn't been out too long since anyway, and I just thought, okay, so that's the way I grew up thinking that that's the way I'm supposed to eat. But yet, as life, as things change, the way ultra processed foods become more and more in our diets, fast food, stopping at McDonald's and all these places, because I never grew up eating all that stuff.
Mhm.
If we had it, it was because something crazy happened and we was ultra excited about it. But
You got that
we didn't
right.
have it all the time. And that was when I was older as a teen, not when I was younger. So hmm, we inherit ways of thinking about food. That's plain and simple. And sometimes what looks genetic is also generational, right? So if everybody around us is tired, overweight, inflamed, diabetic, struggling, high cholesterol, all these different things, right? Eventually, it starts to feel like that's normal. Okay. But common and normal are not the same thing. Somebody has to become the pattern breaker, the generational curse breaker, right? Somebody
Yes.
who's going to stand up in your family, in your time, in your situation, and say, you know what? I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna change the way we've been doing things. It's not working. It's not working. So so we need some generational change breakers to come out and to stand up, and to decide. It starts with me right now, right? This stuff that we've been doing stops. Like, and I'm okay with making those decisions. Like, I don't,
Mhm.
I brought my family up eating the way I was raised, and now I'm on a campaign to change that because I'm letting my children know you are still young. If you change the way you're eating right now,
Oh my god.
it's gonna benefit you
Mm.
futuristically because you don't want to
Mhm.
be where I'm at right, 10 years ago. You don't want to be in that situation. You don't want to be where your mom was. You don't want to be where your cousins were. You don't want that to happen. So change what you're eating and how you're eating now. Um, so when we talk about that, we're talking really about leadership, right? Leadership isn't just something you do at work. It starts at home. It starts in your home. It starts with you. People are watching you. And I'm specifically talking to men. We can't just sit back anymore and just let the wife cook. Okay, go ahead, cook us all this rice and all this stuff. I'm
Hmm.
saying stand up and say, hey, let's start eating more nutritional, let's just make small changes. That's all I did. I just made small changes. It changes with
Until you
instead of
made big
having
ones.
Coca-Cola, let's maybe just have some diet pop. And I know diet pop ain't the greatest, okay? I'm just
Right.
telling you about how to make small decisions and start doing it as much as you can because that's going to start to change in you and you're going to start realizing and feeling the difference.
Yes.
Okay, so that's all we're saying. So uh, your spouse is watching, your kids are watching, your grandchildren are watching, and when they see your energy improve and they see how your mobility is improving, how your confidence is getting improved, how your health is improving, guess what? You leaving a legacy there, believe it or not. So
Yes.
I'm still struggling. My
Absolutely.
kids be like seeing me, they say, I see you, Dad, I see you. But you still eating them cookies, I see. But but
Yeah.
hey, they see me, but
Yes.
they see what's happening in me first. I'm not just telling them not to do it. I'm not doing it myself so that they see. So that's
Mhm.
leadership right there.
Yes, it is. Absolutely, absolutely. I love that because
Yes.
the carnivore is a game changer. It's a game changer.
Yes.
And I know, all my family was looking at me like she has lost her mind, right? She lost her mind. She's
We
eating
did.
only meat. She's definitely going to make herself sick doing this. But,
Oh,
yeah, 2
we
years
did.
later, you started. And so I'm so thankful for that. And we're doing this 7 days sugar-free challenge. We've been doing it throughout the month of June and seeing people just trying being sugar-free for just
Yes.
7 days. Or now people have been doing it for 21 days or, a little over 3 weeks. And seeing the benefits of eliminating sugar from your life, right? So, what can you do? What can you do today? I think we have to be honest with ourselves. There's something a lie that we're telling ourselves in that we're saying that all this sugar is harmless, right? We're eating 100, 200, 300, 500 carbohydrates a day and telling ourselves that it is harmless. And that is not the honest truth, right? So, certainly, we can build insulin resistance. Carnivore teacher Alpha was saying something about young people getting in a fasting A1C. I think it's definitely, I mean, a fasting insulin.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fasting insulin. It's so important because you look at our young people and they are having the same issues that we're having as old people.
Yes.
Insulin
More and more.
resistance, pre-diabetic, diabetic. We need to realize and recognize the fact that sugar is not just a treat. A candy bar is not just a candy bar. It is a metabolic trigger. And we talked about those genetics, right? I'm genetically predisposed to diabetes. I'm genetically predisposed to heart disease or whatever the case may be in your family. And yes, our genetics can be a gun, but it's that food that's pulling the trigger
That's right.
on those diseases, right? So the more often we expose our bodies to all of this sugar, the harder our bodies have to work. And I always say our bodies are literally fighting for their lives. So we need to stop pretending that these starches are neutral. Somebody mentioned corn. Corn is a very starchy food. It's not neutral. Bread, pasta, rice, cereal, crackers, chips, potato. A potato is a sugar bomb. Anything that's flour based, we've been coating our chicken in flour forever and a
Mm.
day.
Enriched flour.
Enriched flour, it
No
breaks
good.
down into glucose in the body. Even though it doesn't taste sweet at all, it still breaks down to sugar in the body. And so they're going to raise that blood sugar and raise that insulin. The third thing that we need to do is we need to prioritize protein. Yes, I'm telling you to eat more meat. Eat more meat. Fill up on meat first. And then if
Yes.
you need to have a little non-starchy vegetable, then okay, go ahead and have that. But prioritize the fatty meat. Eat the chicken thigh with the skin. Go ahead and eat it. It's delicious. You know it tastes better than that chicken breast ever did anyway. Go ahead. If you can afford it, go on and get you a ribeye every now and then and go on and eat the fat. It's all right. It's all right. Animal protein gives the body essential amino amino acids for muscle repair, immune function, and satiety. And muscle does matter because muscle is one of the major places that glucose can be stored. More muscle and better muscle function improve glucose handling. So, the fourth thing is eat enough. Eat plenty. Sometimes I'll eat a whole pound of ground beef or I'll have 4 quarter pound hamburger patties, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah, right.
Yes.
Yep. So eat enough fat. You need to make sure that you're eating fat. Your body needs fat. Your brain needs fat. I know that they demonized fat, and I told that they told you you needed to eat. I'm gonna tell y'all this story. What happened to me? They told y'all to eat the blue bonnet. Everything's better with blue bonnet on it. I went to the restaurant today, Anna's House. Y'all know where it is if you in Kalamazoo.
Mhm.
Anna's House. They have delicious breakfasts. Do y'all know they don't have no real butter in their building? None.
Yes.
No real butter. Everything they're cooking with is a seed oil. The young man came out and said, I told him I have a seed oil allergy and I want to have my eggs cooked in butter. He came back and said the butter is soybean and safflower and canola and what? That's not
Mhm.
butter? That is not butter, right? You need to eat real fat, right? You need to eat real fat, okay? Add some butter to that, Danielle. Add some butter to those turkey burgers. Yes, it'll be better.
Yes.
Better for you. All right. So, animal protein gives the body, yeah, we talked about that already. So, make sure that you're eating enough to be satisfied. When people remove sugar and starch but do not eat enough fat, they often feel deprived, hungry, and unstable. Fat helps with satiety and makes the lifestyle sustainable. The fifth thing is take a walk. Take a walk. A walk after meals can help your muscles to use that glucose. It does not have to be extreme. A simple 10 to 20-minute walk after eating can be powerful. Yes, Danielle, start increasing the amount of butter that you're using. Have some butter with your meals. And then the sixth thing is going to be get some more sleep because poor sleep can worsen our insulin resistance, increase craving, raise our stress hormones, and make discipline hard. Seventh thing is going to be manage stress because stress can raise high stress raises your cortisol, it affects your glucose handling, all the things, the same things that I just said about cravings and a lack of ability to rest. So, we cannot heal while we're constantly living under this pressure, right? The last thing I want to say is make sure that you're tracking the right things because healing is so powerful. It's way more powerful than weight loss. Healing is amazing. If you can heal your body, I see Danielle talking about her A1C is up. You can go ahead and reverse that with your nutrition. That's healing. Your body will normalize as far as weight is concerned. I was concerned about weight my whole life. How much did I weigh? Using the scale every day and all of that, looking at it and having a goal weight, all of those things, right? So the scale is not it. The scale, she be lying. She be lying. Measure things like how your clothes fit, track your energy. How's your energy level? How are your cravings doing? Measure that waist and see, am I losing inches in the waistline? That's a big factor for metabolic health. How's your sleep? Check your blood pressure. Get your labs done and have them add a fasting insulin, right? It says, your provider might say, "Oh, that's not a typical lab," and it's not, right? The provider might say that's not typical. Get it anyway, have them order it for you, right? So you need data, but you also need wisdom to make choices.
Yes. So Man, you said so much good stuff in there. I want to jump in. I was biting my tongue, everything, but definitely increase your fat, and especially if you're eating a high protein meat like chicken breasts or turkey. All
Yeah,
those things are very high in protein. They don't have much fat, and I know
right.
because that's generally what they tell you to eat because they're trying to cut your fat out. But
Yep.
let me tell you, you can't cut out real animal fat and then try to replace it with seed oil fat. That stuff just isn't good for you. It's, I believe, the cause of a lot of sickness in the United States today. Um, and who wants to go to breakfast? This is why I don't go out to eat no more, because every place I've been to eat, even thinking I could have breakfast, every one of them told me they don't have butter anymore. What
My
is
God.
going on that you can't serve
Mm-mm-mm.
butter, real butter, in a restaurant on pancakes? I'm thank goodness I don't eat that stuff no more. Cause if I
Right.
if I wanted some pancake, I better have some real butter. I don't want to put no oil, no vegetable oil that's been processed, made. Like I want to pour that's flavored, that looks like it. Oh my gosh, they even doing this in hospitals. I went with
Mm-mm.
my wife to the hospital, went down to their little concession to get some breakfast, and I see them with them bottles just squirting all the pans, squirting all the eggs. They pouring all this stuff over your food. So when you're eating it, and it's like as soon as I tasted a burger, I was like, ugh, I can't. This something's wrong. This tastes nasty. I'm sorry. I need my money back. No, I'm not finna eat that mess, and I'm not finna put it in my body. So
Right.
just you listen. Don't just eat anything they give you. Ask about how is this prepared? What are you cooking this in? Because they're doing this stuff, and nobody's asking what is it or why. Like no butter
Yep.
in the restaurants no more. Come on,
Nope.
man. What?
Then when he
And then
brought
you
he
cooking
brought
all
the
our
box
food.
out, I was like, You gonna bring me a carnivore, some vegan butter? Get out of here with that. Get out.
No wonder why stuff is so out of order right now with how we're dealing with our health in America. And and
Yeah.
they're and they're So anyway, I do want to give a shout out to the to is John, right? John,
Yes.
from Carnivore
John
Alpha
Laspina.
Teacher. Yes,
Yes.
listen, he's been doing a series on vegetables. Go over to his channel and check it out. He's doing vegetables. He'll break down corn. He'll break down green beans. He's breaking down carrots. I watched the one on carrots. Look at that, and he actually teaches and shows why some of these things are bad and what's in it. So instead of just eating because you think or you've been told that these vegetables are good for you, you need to understand that. And then you, Dr. Shafee, what do I got to say about him? Hey,
Mm,
he go one over there and look at one of his videos about why we don't need to eat plants and what do
right.
they do and why they're trying to kill us.
Yep. And they
But anyway,
literally were trying to kill me. They literally were,
yes, yes, yes,
so
yeah.
I recommend that everybody try a animal-based way of eating for a
Yes,
time
yes, yes,
and
just for a
see,
time.
yeah,
Especially if you're sick. If you're sick right now, if you're dealing with pre-diabetes, what we're talking about today, you're dealing with diabetes even. I'm telling you, you could do it. I know someone who's been taking medication, and day two of trying to carnivore, his blood sugar levels went to 80. And he was kind of scared because he didn't know he didn't know how to
"Let
handle
me
that.
drink some." Yep,
But
right? Yep.
a couple days, blood sugar levels 80,
Normalize.
just a couple days. So what are we weighing here? Do we want to deal with a lifetime of losing your eyesight, maybe losing limbs in your toes, your feet, because your veins can't handle all that sugar in your body, and that's really what it comes down to. It's sugars is like I've heard many people say what it's like. It is like it's rusting out your insides. And
Mm,
so, and I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to give you the information here because, we got a lot of misinformation around, and of course, it's a all this information and data and wisdom, right? All of it's here, right? Because I think that's where a lot of us are getting overwhelmed. We got information available today from everywhere, right? Even now more than before. Information is coming just like that. As soon as we're hearing stuff, and you could almost be watching it live at the same time. More
Mhm.
podcasts, more books, more YouTube channels, more opinions, and somehow people seem more confused than ever before. What is happening? So that tells me information isn't always the problem. It's the implementation. That's the issue, right? Most people already know you already know when your sugar is high, right? Most people already know they need to do better with sleep. We all know that stuff already. Most of us already know we we need to be moving. We know this stuff. We're not saying something that's new to you. So once again, I asked earlier, what are we gonna do that we know now? This information.
Mhm.
What are you gonna do? And I'm challenging you right now, listening, wherever you listening. What are you going to do with the information? Are you just going to let it go, bypass, go out your, go in one ear and out the other? But once again, this is your life, right? So you have the choice to make. You can make that choice, and you can make that choice. You can. But for me, I'm glad I made the choice a year ago to take back my health. I feel better than I've ever felt in my life. I'm not tired. I don't wake up tired anymore. It don't matter if I sleep 3 hours. I don't wake up tired. That's crazy to me. I feel good when I wake up. I feel good. Like my body isn't sore like it used to be. All the things that used to, I'm not hungry all day. I'm not even thinking about food. My mind is so clear and free. Thank you. Woo! Like what? I, I was consumed all day. What I'm eating, what I'm eating, what I'm eating. Always chasing
Right.
food. Like
Yeah.
that's all I did. I chased food all day. And now I don't. My wife keep. I be like, look, I don't know what I'm eating. I'll know in 5 minutes before I get ready to eat because that's the way it is. I can sit and eat 4 eggs, half pound of burger. Give me some brats or some. Give me a hot dog, maybe some chicken, maybe some fish, maybe some shrimp, whatever. I just fix a plate and I eat it, and my body says thank you. See you next time tomorrow, right? That's
Yep.
how it goes for
That's it.
me. That's my day, and I'm good to go. So anyway, uh, so when stress shows up, all these different things in our lives, one of the biggest lessons I've learned on my own personal journey is consistency will always beat intensity. Just being consistent. And once again, one decision, just make one decision and just keep making the small decisions till before you know it, it's a year. And then so much has changed in your life. You feel better. You're starting to look better. You don't even realize you're thinking clearly now. That's what happens. So you don't need to have a perfect month. You don't need to be perfect in your decisions. You know, just a walk. Take a walk. Just eat a good meal, right? Like just don't approach it that way. Don't make it because we put the limitations on over ourselves. So, and then one night you get some good sleep. That's good. Keep keep doing it because what happens you start stacking, right? You start stacking.
Mhm.
Then next thing you know, you got 2 nights of good sleep, 3 nights of good sleep. And I'm gonna tell you, your sleep is just as important as your nutrition, what you put in your mouth. So I'm gonna tell you, and folks working out, doing all that stuff, you can do all that. But if you're not getting good sleep, you're really not helping yourself. A lot of things
Mhm.
happen when we sleep. Recovery is one of those things. And
Yes.
so anyway, I started to drift. So that's why coach. That's why coaching matters, right? That's why we're
Yes.
here. We're here because we're both passionate, and I picked up on Robyn's passion for coaching. She got me fired up now, and so this is why we're here because sometimes you need help in life, in your lifestyle. It's a multitude of things, but like we always talk about our sleep, we talk about our movement, we always talk about our nutrition, our fuel, what we're putting into our body, and maintaining and managing stress. Like this is a whole thing, not just I just need to work on what I eat. Okay. And so it could be a lot for people if you don't understand what to do and how to do it. So we what we do here at CG Coaching, that's what we do. We help people simplify their life. We help people, right, through this process, right? Because we can sit and tell you what to eat. What is that going to do for you if you don't understand why, the hows, the, all those things? You don't understand that in order to get a good night's sleep, you have to have a good nutrition, right? Right? Like, because if you go to bed hungry, I'm telling you, you won't sleep good. You won't. So,
Right.
so that's what we do. We help people here. We help people stay focused. We help people build a lifestyle they can actually sustain, and that's what we do. So,
Yes, 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 yes. So, tonight we talked about type 2 diabetes. And if you're watching this and you've been told that you are pre diabetic, diabetic, insulin resistant, or borderline, oh, your sugars is high, don't panic, but get serious. It's time to start thinking about your sugar consumption, right? Get serious about your food and all the other things that we talk about over here all the time. So, diabetes doesn't have to define your life. In fact, it's easily reversible. Yes, I know they didn't tell you that. It's easily reversible. So you can work with Sherrod or I, we have CG Health Coaching. At CG Health Coaching, our mission is changing minds, healing bodies. We want to see you heal from the inside out. And so we help people break free from sugar addiction and reduce their metabolic burden, build that primarily animal based lifestyle. And it's a super simple way to be. I want to say tonight if you are a health coach in the proper human diet, and you want to come and be a panelist on Coach's Corner, reach out to me. Let me know. Let us know. We will love to have you on. We'll talk about whatever topic suits your fancy. And this is Coach's Corner. So we're looking for coaches to come on and let's talk about what you're passionate about. So we're super excited about that as well. I want to mention also, so if you're looking for coaching, you can find us at cghealthcoach.com, cghealthcoach.com, and we have a whole program. So come on and join us, and we would love to support you and work with you, help you transition. And then the other thing is I want to mention about impact, y'all. Oh my gosh, it's coming up. It's just like 2 months away now. I'm so excited. Impact Meet Up and Eat Up with Carnivorous Grandma and Friends. It's going to be right here in Kalamazoo, Michigan. We have an amazing, amazing lineup for you, and we're very excited to see you here in Kalamazoo. So I think when I close out, this is going to play our commercial. But yeah, somebody said consistency beats intensity. Yes, indeed. We love that message. We're going to repeat that one more time. Consistency beats intensity. Yes, let's make a sign. Let's put it on a shirt. All right. All right, you guys. We thank you so much for being here for tonight with us on
wait,
Coach's Corner. Oh, will we?
wait.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We gotta say this. Thank you for spending your evening with us. If this conversation has helped you, please like, subscribe, share with someone you care about. Like, share this video with somebody in your life that maybe they're struggling with diabetes, maybe they're sick. Just share it with them. That's all you got to do. Just text it to them, share, boom, boom, boom. We appreciate it. Thank you. And we'll see you next time on Coach's Corner.
Bye, everybody.